if they are the #1 team for players in terms of their choice.
Well, we saw 2 weeks ago Neo Lotfi used Jeju United, of course, and you know, it worked really, really well for him. He was able to outmuscle a lot of the other talent here, but certainly Arsenal are a go-to team for many of these players, potentially due to some height in their squad, but we'll see again today as Arsenal playing from left to right in the home red and white, of course, got things underway and trading possession inside the first few minutes.
Yeah, and you can see the two players there in the spotlight on the main stage here in Milan, a fabulous setting, this auditorium full of atmosphere and excitement. Ettorito is playing in the blue kit, just to let you know. Neo Terrible Tank is in the red Arsenal strip.
Yep, so Ettorito had some possession there in the opposition half, but it's broken down again here and fired upfield as a chance here to break up over the halfway line.
Ettorito sending it forwards, and Aubameyang just closed down there, wasn't able to find his way through. It's forwards towards Mustafi, who's intercepted well there. Ettorito seeing more of the ball early on, and he's flicked it in towards Aubameyang, who has returned the favour.
Lovely give and go.
Ozil, 1-0.
And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. That's what Ettorito does. In all of the games he goes on to win, he generally scores very, very early. It's exactly what he's done. A little give and go on the edge of the box. It's all that he needed to break through that Neo Terrible Tank defence, something he couldn't do 2 weeks ago, and he finds himself in the lead, Mark.
Yeah, it was a very straightforward goal, really well worked. Nice 1-2, and Neo Terrible Tank's defence was split apart, and Ozil took the opportunity gleefully, and the first real opportunity of the game has led to the first goal of the game. And after being beaten 1-0 by Neo Terrible Tank in the quarterfinals a fortnight ago, Ettorito leads Neo Terrible Tank by 1-0 early on in their opening group stage encounter.
What'll be interesting to see is, can Neo Terrible Tank now stay with Ettorito? Because generally, when Ettorito scores first, he then presses and presses until he gets that second and then the third, and it could be a whitewash. And he's in again here, a chance to pull it back possibly into the area. Good defending and good save in the end from Petr Cech.
Cech sends it upfield to Lacazette early on, but at the moment Neo Terrible Tank is finding it difficult to string a couple of passes together. Free kick taken to El Neni, back to Maitland-Niles now. Maitland-Niles on the charge, finds Willock, and Chris Willock's delivery lets him down a bit. Aubameyang now has it for Ettorito's Arsenal. It's out of play from El Neni for a throw to Ettorito's Arsenal, and he sent it long towards Aubameyang, who's just not able to keep that in play.
Yeah, throwing on the far touchline, and it's back with the Arsenal left back, but he's giving it away here, and a chance for Mkhitaryan to find Mesut Ozil. Lovely ball over the top, looking for Mkhitaryan again. The former Dortmund man crosses it in towards Aubameyang, cut out by the Arsenal centre-back.
And launch long for Neo Terrible Tank. First real opening of the game for him. He's sent it wide to Lacazette. Lacazette now tees it up almost for Mkhitaryan. But Ettorito on the counter now. This could be dangerous. Aubameyang to Ozil. Back here for Aubameyang. Brilliantly worked. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang off the post. So close to a second. And again, wonderful link-up play from Ettorito.
Yeah, this is exactly what we talk about. He's a magician inside the opposition half. And he almost got a second there. He sprung to life, broke down this down the right-hand side, and then the shot that came in back off the foot of the post and ricocheted behind for a corner. Should have been 2-0.
Ozil will take the corner then for Ettorito's Arsenal. Nearly found its way through to Welbeck, but it's broken down, and there's a chance of a counter here for Neo Terrible Tank, and they've worked it into Aubameyang, who's given it back to Mkhitaryan. Has he got the pace here, Mkhitaryan? Not quite, but he's wriggled it through for Aubameyang. Could this be 1-1? Yes, it is. Clinically done. And both sides have shown a real cutting edge in front of goal when the chances have come their way.
Yeah, that's real character and determination and grit from Neo Terrible Tank. And you see him on the right of the screen. He's a man who just wants goals, and that's exactly what he's done there. And he's just looking so composed. And Ettorito knows that chance that rattled back off the frame of the post should have been 2-0, and he's ruled that missed opportunity.
Yeah, the Europe Finals Season 2 2007 winner. Ettorito is pegged back Italian champion in 2010 and 2012, and it's all square now between their respective Arsenal sides with just under half an hour played. Ettorito in possession with Mesut Ozil, and Ozil skips away from El Neni, almost threads it through to Aubameyang. Koscielny finds Willett for Neo Terrible Tank's Gunners now, and it's picked up and dispatched straight to the feet of El Neni again. El Neni, early pass in towards Aubameyang for Neo Terrible Tank's Arsenal. Mkhitaryan, good wriggle, almost found his way through, and the momentum in the game has switched somewhat with Ettorito dominating early on, and Neo Terrible Tank now coming back into it.
Yeah, like I mentioned, he's done really, really well to get back into this match, because often Ettorito, if he scores that early, blows oppositions away. It's back to 1-1, but it is Ettorito again here, but it's a weak shot in the end from Mkhitaryan, and it's straight down the throat of Petr Cech.
10 minutes to go until the break. Here's Aubameyang for Neo Terrible Tank, and that's really well worked. Aubameyang has it back again, angles against him, he's turned well. Deflection on the shot, could have taken it anywhere, takes it behind for a corner.
Really ramping up the pressure now. Neo Terrible Tank, he's taking the game by the scruff of the neck after a sloppy opening 5 minutes. Back to 1-1, and could have been 2 there. Really impressive from the Frenchman.
Good entertainment for those watching on as well.
That was, of course, Luca Tubelli, who was part of the trio that saw Ettorito and Alex Alguacil win the co-ops 2 weeks ago. There's another chance here, saved by Petr Cech by his feet, and that should have been 2-1, Mark.
Neo Terrible Tank is really ratcheting up the pressure now. After falling behind, it's almost been one-way traffic with his Arsenal side asking all of the questions. Ettorito under the pump at the moment as a goal flies in one of the other group stage games. We will keep you up to date with all of those and let you know who's looking good for a place in the quarterfinals that take place later on. Ettorito looking good for an opportunity here. Chance, and surely, and in. Aubameyang scores, and having soaked up some pressure from Neo Terrible Tank, Ettorito goes down the other end and scores.
That is absolutely sensational. Mesut Ozil, you thought when he got into this position and plays it through to Aubameyang, you'd think the shot was coming, but he just sort of drew the goalkeeper in the space at the back post for the cross, and just a simple tap in at the back post. Ettorito leads for the second time. Now are we going to see him go into gear 3, 4 and 5 and take this game away from Neo Terrible Tank, or is the Frenchman going to get himself back into it for the second time in the day?
Well, it's been another rip-roaring start to the group stage. We had it in the co-op games, we've had it in the 1v1s as well. Really has laid down a marker for what to expect. So this was a heavyweight duel between semi-finalists and a player with massive pedigree in Ettorito. Neo Terrible Tank looking for the second equaliser. What a wonderful goal that would have been had it come off. It comes off for Aubameyang last and behind, and that might be the last action of the first half.
Yeah, what I've noticed is Neo Terrible Tank is really pressing Ettorito high. As soon as Ettorito gets it in and around his own area, Neo Terrible Tank pressing down those flanks, causing the problems, but he's leaving himself open at the back at the same time as Aubameyang tries to chip. There's another chance, that Mark, but
what an opportunity to make it 3-1. As it is, though, it's a 2-1 advantage for Ettorito at the break, but I don't think Neo Terrible Tank will be terribly disappointed with how he's played so far.
How many more puns are you going to drop today, Mark? No, of course, he won't be too disheartened by that. What's interesting is that when Ettorito has lost before in the past, he's generally lost when the teams are resolute and they sit back deep, but Neo Terrible Tank's doing quite the opposite. He's pressing him very high, which of course is allowing space in behind as well for Ettorito, so we are seeing a very open game here. And it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out in this remaining 45 minutes as another hoop comes in from down on the floor.
Yeah, lots of hoops and hollers happening here this afternoon. Lots of goals flying in around the auditorium. As I mentioned, if you didn't join us earlier, Semra was in and amongst it downstairs and took us on a bit of behind-the-scenes look at the other stages that are being used to play the games in, and had a chat with some of the players. We'll do that for the 1v1s as well, but at the moment our focus is on what is a pulsating game between Ettorito and Neo Terrible Tank. Ettorito's Arsenal in the blue strip have the advantage as a couple of meaty challenges fly in, and then a loose pass from Ozil, but it's broken for Maitland-Niles. Can he get the cross in? He can, surely. If there'd been contact from Welbeck, that would have been 3-1. That looked like a foul on the edge of the area. Ozil still going. and Neo Terrible Tank has
it's a
conceded
dangerous
the foul.
opportunity. Now what Neo Terrible Tank doesn't want to do is play his cards too early, because he is still in this match. He doesn't want to concede too much ground here, because if Ettorito gets a third, it could well be all over as Aubameyang plays it back towards Mesut Ozil.
Aubameyang, lovely work to get it into the area, but the offside flag is up.
Yeah, Ettorito will be desperate to get this third goal, this second goal cushion, because we've seen time and time again today already, if they don't get that, the elusive third goal, then of course the equalising goal tends to follow as we go into the final 20 minutes, that final crucial third, as Danny Welbeck has space down this left-hand side.
Welbeck still going. That was a fair challenge that came in on him. He had a glance across to the referee. Corner will be taken, but changing corner taker, as Maitland-Niles is preferred by Ettorito to deliver this as we approach the hour mark of the game. Maitland-Niles takes it short, bit of a fancy bit of trickery from Mesut Ozil. Here's Maitland-Niles again, looking for the angle, finds it with Ozil, 3 in the box to aim for. Mkhitaryan, one of them, well guided away though, and here come Neo Terrible Tank's Arsenal
forwards
on the counter-attack. Not too many numbers up, he's going to have to box pretty clever here. He's worked it to Lacazette. They've got more arriving now. Chance here, just the final pass lets him down.
Yeah, we saw Maitland-Niles with a lovely bit of trickery for Ettorito on that far left-hand touchline, but then it broke and the counter-attack was on, as it is here for Ettorito up the other end, and it's in towards Mkhitaryan. Chance to shoot here, possibly. Good defending, just forces him out, but it's another lovely turn in, and it's into the danger area, and a shot ricochets through to Petr Cech. Another chance for Ettorito.
End-to-end stuff now. You get the feeling that there are definitely more goals in this one, as Neo Terrible Tank commits men forward and Ettorito can potentially hit on the counter-attack, and that's well robbed and sent upfield towards Aubameyang. But Neo Terrible Tank looking for El Neni, not finding him. Picked up in possession by Koscielny. Koscielny long towards Aubameyang, who couldn't quite pick up possession there. Mesut Ozil now for Ettorito. 20 minutes left of the game, and he's picked out Bellerin. Hector Bellerin for Ettorito. Now it's Mesut Ozil. Patient stuff. Mkhitaryan back to Ozil. Brilliantly worked. Aubameyang. This to settle it. Aubameyang! Great save by Cech.
It was all made by Mkhitaryan. Lovely jink there to get around the defender. And the pass at an acute angle as Luca Gibelli watches on, biting his nails for his fellow Italian compatriot Ettorito, and it should have been 3-1. That big chance for Aubameyang.
Well, you fancy now that one goal would be enough to secure all 3 points, and they're looking for it now rather than setting up shop. Chance for Mkhitaryan, saved by Cech. Where's the rebound going? It's bounced for Danny Welbeck to keep it alive. Welbeck.
Neo Terrible Tank is thanking his lucky stars right now, because this game should have been dead and buried, but the Frenchman lives on and now attacks down this right-hand side as the game is ramping up in this final 10 minutes.
And that looked like a foul,
Very
and
late
it will
challenge.
be a foul. And a set-piece opportunity after Bellerin was hacked down by Ettorito, taking one for the team there.
Yeah, that look says it all there. He knows this game should be over. Can he now show that experience from recent weeks to rewrite the wrongs and see this game out?
Well, these are crucial alterations that are being made. It was remarkable the amount of times that some changes late on in games really swung the momentum from one way to the other. In Barcelona a fortnight ago, some matches, very tight finishes, were altered by substitution or tactical reshuffle.
Just looking at those formations there, it's looking for all the world to see that Ettorito is going for that flat 11 across his own back line as he looks to shut up shop here, just leaving one player forwards in Lacazette. He's got 10 players inside his own half.
Well, there you go.
I mean, that to anyone watching at home, that is flattery for Neo Terrible Tank. He knows the threat that the Frenchman possesses, so he's just doing all he can as Neo Terrible Tank goes the other way and flies forwards in his formation. Well,
we've heard of the term parking the bus. He's parking the entire garage there to try and see this one over the line, and who can blame him with a touch over 10 minutes left to play and leading by 2-1. Defending to do here, though, as El Neni advances. Lovely flick to Dragomir, who almost managed to tickle it through. Dragomir, who's on for Bellerin for Terrible Tank's Arsenal. Given away, though, and opportunity here perhaps for Ettorito to settle the game, or maybe just run it down to the corner. That would be The cynical but very wise thing to do. In fact, he's looking to kid it off once and for all, and might do here. Really important challenge that came in from Koscielny.
Yeah, he had a chance there to waste a few seconds. He went for the third goal. It could be a poor decision because Neo Terrible Tank is now flying forwards, and Ettorito needs to use all of those 11 City Milan buses to stop the Frenchman now.
Willox, though, committed a foul for Neo Terrible Tank, which will give Ettorito's Arsenal a chance to just regroup and run down the clock a bit more. They just need to keep possession until the final whistle, and the points are theirs. Anywhere will do for him. This is perfect, just to take it down to the corner, although it's just drifted out, so there will be one potential last opportunity for Neo Terrible Tank to get it upfield. It's where he needs to get it, but he's lost possession, and the chance may well have deserted him now. Breaks almost, but well watched by El Neni, and Mavropanos to Maitland-Niles. We're almost into stoppage time. It's got to go long now from Neo Terrible Tank's Arsenal. Looked like a foul. Advantage was played, though. Willock, can he get the cross in? That's a really good tackle on him by Bellerin. And that is the full-time whistle. Well, what a tussle that has been. And revenge for Ettorito after his quarter-final defeat to Neo Terrible Tank in the last event. This time he has come out on top in their latest